Now 6 o'clock, we'll call our meeting to order. Thank you all for being here. And Councilmember Jim Mooney, can you attest that we have a quorum present?
Yes, sir, we do.
And let the record show that Councilmember Ann Snavy is absent tonight. Councilmember Kirk Rafford, will you lead us in an invocation, please?
Yes, sir. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight with thanksgiving. Thank you for all of your many blessings over the individuals in our community and our community as a whole. As we gather tonight to make decisions and guide our community, we ask for your input, your guidance, your wisdom, and your hand to be on all the decisions we make. Lord, as we travel through the next few days, we ask that you calm nerves, lift spirits, and heal the community from any brokenness. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Councilmember John Powell, would you lead us in our prayer, please? Yes, sir.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, I will need an amendment to the agenda as it has been presented to you. We want to take item 9 and we're going to move it to in front of our public hearing. Item 9 is a request to appoint our city manager as temporary city clerk, and this will allow her to do the duties that she needs to do tonight. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the amended agenda, amended agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion by council? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And the agenda is amended. Our next item is a public hearing. There will be 4 items of this, and we will go through them one by one. Item number 1 is a request to rezone Parcel 030D07 located at 654 Philadelphia Road, consisting of 4.46 acres, to be rezoned to C2 General Commercial from RA Residential Agriculture. And we will ask Mary Elizabeth Burgess, our Planning and Development Director, to bring this to us.
Good evening, members of the council. Mr. Mayor, thank you. In front of you, you have a rezoning request. Oops. Trying to find my... Somebody dropped my notebook. Okay, it's out of order. All right, so tonight we have a rezoning application for 654 Philadelphia Road. They're requesting to rezone from RA to C2. And this is put forth by the owner, the Johnsons. So the existing conditions out there, lot area is about 4.5 acres, frontage on a public way, so they have 195 feet along Philadelphia Road, and public utilities to be determined out there, and currently it is vacant and just wooded. So surrounding land uses, so to the south you have single-family residential right now. It is zone C2. It is not, I'm not sure if that is vacant or if it is being utilized. The site is somewhat maintained. And then you have vacant land to the east and north. And then across the street you have all that C2 development with the Stones River and the microtel. So staff analysis, so is this consistent with the master plan? As you remember, the comprehensive plan does state that all of our corridor parcels are to be for commercial, so it is consistent with the comprehensive plan. Similar uses surrounding it right now. It will not adversely affect, so obviously as it is to be developed in commercial, it will be developed in a way that will not adversely affect the infrastructure. So by rezoning this, we are not guaranteeing them any rights except that it can be used for C2. So we are not guaranteeing utilities or any other aspect of infrastructure. And so it is in scale with the surrounding uses right now. So Planning Commission and staff made a recommendation. So I'm not going to read all of these, but as you know, there are several uses allowed in the C2. So with the approval of conditions, we'd like to limit those uses to, we'd like to exclude the uses that are here. So some of them, you know, we don't want another gas station over there with a convenience store. We don't want to add to the traffic per se. We'd like to stick to something more retail based. So, you know, building materials sales, car wash, carpet, rug sales, manufacturing establishments, mini warehousing, tire sales, warehouses, repair service. We really want to make it attractive as this is our main commercial development corridor. So those are the ones we'd like to exclude from the C2 use table. And then as usual, you have to comply with Article 1, which are the getting the required permits, so site plan review, building permits, and building regulations, compliance with all the other applicable. And so staff recommendation is approval with conditions.
Thank you. At this time, we would ask the public for any comments on the request to rezone this parcel at 654 Philadelphia Road. Hearing none, we will move on. Item number 2 is a request for parcel 028051, which is a landlocked parcel located in the vicinity of Cove Road and Grandview Road, consisting of a total of 34.25 acres to de-annex from the City of Jasper and annex into Pickens County. And as before, we'll ask our Planning and Development Director to bring this to us.
Thank you. All right, so as Mr. Mayor said, this is a 34-acre parcel located, it has a Grandview address, but located at Cove and Grandview. It is the one in the yellow. It has no direct access. It has an utilities easement, which can also be used for access, but is not to be used for a main form of egress-ingress. So you can't build a road up there, for instance. It's only 20 feet wide anyway. So it is currently vacant. From what I understand, the applicant, Mr. Haddock, is proposing to access it from Grandview from their additional parcels up. Oh, this doesn't go in there. To the north there. So surrounding land uses, it's at that bad turn on Cove Road, so we wouldn't really want access made that way anyway. It is adjacent to the city-owned area that is adjacent to our Long Swamp Creek. And it is all vacant land as of right now. So staff recommendation. So we don't have any criteria to de-annex, and the county doesn't really have any criteria to annex. So whether to approve or deny isn't really us to say. Well, as a recommendation, I don't have criteria to base a recommendation on. At this time, there are questions about future utilities up there, how it may affect our water supply. The applicant has indicated that it did perk up there, but I am not sure how close we are to our water supply, any of those, without having an evaluation. So at this time, we are recommending approval, but one of the things I would think about is the county has already approved this application. So any ability to offer any feedback has been taken away.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, we're asking for public comment on the request for this landlocked parcel located at Cove Road and Grandview Road. Absent any public comment, we will move on.
Mayor, can I ask one question? When you say the county has approved it, has the Board of Commissioners passed a resolution approving the de-annexation? Is that what you're meaning by approval?
So when I reached out to the county, I asked what had happened at the commissioners' hearing, and they said that they did approve it for annexation.
Annexation, not de-annexation.
Correct, they approved it to annex into the county.
Same flip side of the same coin.
Yes.
So, okay, all right.
Any further comments? Moving on to item number 3. Item 3 is a request to fix the zoning map error for parcel JA07 located off of Pioneer Road, consisting of a total of 1.25 acres to be rezoned to R3 high density residential from M1 general industry.
So, Planning and Development Department is bringing this forward, as it was pointed out as an error and was confirmed. The ordinance was approved in 2005 to rezone this parcel. And when the zoning map was done in 2020 by Northwest Regional, it was erroneously put as M1. So the lot area over there is 1.25 acres. It has frontage on both Jacobs Way and Pioneer Road. There are stub outs for existing utilities, but it is vacant right now because they cannot get a building permit for residential in an industrial zoned area. So as you can see on Q Public, to the far right, it is zoned R3. So it's already represented there. However, in our zoning map, it has the purple, which is industrial. So it was rezoned in 2005 as part of that townhome development across the street. And so we are just recommending approval to fix this error. So generally, as a rule of thumb, if it goes through one iteration of a zoning map, you could possibly change it as a Scrivener's error, but because we have just recently adopted another zoning map, you can't do a double that, if that makes sense. So once it's gone through 2 iterations, you have to legally advertise and change it that way.
Thank you. So I'll ask for any public comment on this particular parcel that we are going to fix a zoning map error for parcel JA07 off of Pioneer Road. Hearing no comments, we will move on. Item number 4 is a request to rezone parcel JA07099, located at 45 East Church Street, consisting of a total of 0.4 acres to be rezoned to C2 General Commercial from CBD Central Business District. And again, we'll ask Ms. Burgess, our Planning and Development Director, to bring this to us.
Thank you. This application has been brought forth by the lessee, Nick Nadum. The owner is 45 East Church Street Investments, LLC. So the existing conditions over there, it's about 0.4 an acre. It has frontage on both Wall Street and East Church Street. It has public utilities, and it is a pre-existing gas station and automobile garage. So some of the surrounding uses, I'm sure everybody knows where this area is. So it abuts or is adjacent to the rear of the Mule House, across from the Cagle Brothers. It abuts the pizza place, I Love New York Pizza, and then it is across the street is the vacant lot. So this one's a little bit interesting because no matter what happens, they can operate as a gas station. They are pre-existing non-conforming, so the gas station will not go away. However, they are asking to put a convenience store inside the gas station, which would extend their non-conforming nature, which requires them to rezone. So that being said, it does pose an opportunity to bring this site into conformance to CBD standards as much as practical. So one of the things I looked at when we were going through the recommendations is this consistent with the comprehensive plan? Well, no, the CBD expressly says no gas stations with convenience stores. However, like I said, gas station is not going away no matter what. So we can't do anything about that. So, when doing the conditions of approval, And again, it is tough to make a recommendation for approval for something that is pre-existing non-conforming, and they want to extend the non-conforming. But anyway, to change this to C2, there are several conditions of approval that will help bring this site into conformity as much as possible. Embrace the design standards of downtown by getting rid of all that metal, getting rid of all the existing signage. So the sign on the left will be gone, replaced with a nice monument sign. Where you see this right here, so this is the road, there's no divide, there's no sidewalk, there's no pedestrian and vehicular separation. They will have to create that separation and make this a safe site. They will not be operating this with the garage. So they have the additional parking where the garage used to be. So if you can picture the garage bay doors, and that's where the convenience store is going to be. But they have all the parking and the availability to park on that side, so you won't have as many people parking on the side of the road in their travel lanes and so forth. Plus, by making 2 means of egress, defined egress with curb and sidewalk, and so there'll be one on Wall Street, so you know, and one on East Church Street as well. So you're able to create that separation. Again, as I said before, if they can operate as they are right now without doing any of these improvements. So that's why we are recommending approval with conditions.
Thank you. Again, I'll ask for public comment on this to rezone parcel JA07 located at 45 East Church Street. Having no comments, thank you. Then we will declare this the end of our public hearing. Council, at this time, I would entertain a motion. You have in front of you our consent agenda. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Any discussion by council? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, same. The motion carries. Item 1 under new business, consideration and approval to open a new account at United
We'll do
Community
number
Bank.
9 first.
I beg your
You
pardon?
want to do number 9 first?
We've already done number 9.
We moved it. Did we vote on it?
We did.
Okay.
Thank you, Doug.
We did not take a vote on that. We voted on the amendment to the agenda.
I thought when we amended the general, we voted on that. If I'm wrong, we'll do it.
I'd make a motion to approve number 9 as presented under new business.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion by council? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
Congratulations.
Carry on with what you did. Again, number 1, consideration approval to open a new account at United Community Bank for the 501c3 First Mountain City Foundation. We'll ask our finance director, Lindsay Williams, if you will. Explain this to us, Lindsay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So I've been tasked with the project to open a 501c3, so we decided that we would create First Mountain City Foundation. And to do that, we need to open a checking account, so I'm asking permission to open a new account for First Mountain City Foundation at United Community Bank. And we're requesting to have Mr. Rathfield, Mr. Looney, and Ms. Janus as signers on the account.
Thank you. Council, to entertain a motion to approve.
So.
Second.
Second.
Discussion by council.
So where are we in the process?
So we've just started the process. We got our EIN number, and then now once we get this done, then we're going to move on to our next steps.
Okay.
Lindsay, should your name be on this signer also? Oh,
Any further discussion?
thought I'd ask.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Item number 2, consideration and approval to open a new account for Perot Park ARC grant. Lindsay, don't go anywhere. And thank you for bringing this to us.
Yeah. So as everyone's aware, we got awarded a nice art grant. So in order for us to receive funds, we have to have a separate bank account for this grant. So I'm requesting again to open an account at United Community Bank and to keep the same signers, Mr. Rackfield, Mr. Lenny, Ms. Davis, signers for this account as well.
Council, entertain a motion to approve opening this new account for Pro Park ARC grant.
So moved.
Jim, second.
Second.
Any further discussion by council? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 3, consideration and approval of ordinance 2023-21 to rezone parcel 030D-087 located at 654 Philadelphia Road, consisting of 4.46 acres to be rezoned to C2 general commercial from RA residential agriculture. And we'll ask Mary Elizabeth Burgess, our planning and development director, to bring this. Seems like this is familiar.
Deja vu. So can I just say ditto? Good evening, council, Mr. Mayor, Mary Elizabeth Burgess, Planning and Development Director. So before you, you've heard at the public hearing, we are asking to rezone 4.46 acres at the corner of Philadelphia and 515 from RA to C2 with the conditions that were presented earlier.
Council, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to table until council meets again at regular schedule.
On what date is that? Our next regular scheduled meeting?
I believe that would be December 4th, Mayor.
Okay. Council, I have a motion to table this until our next regular scheduled meeting on December the 4th.
Second.
Have a second. Any further discussion by council? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
Aye.
Let the record show that Dr. Sonny Proctor opposed. And I think that was 2-1-3. So we're good. And the motion is tabled. Item number 4, consideration approval of ordinance 2023.22 for parcel 028051, which is a landlocked parcel located in the vicinity of Cove Road and Grandview Road, consisting of a total of 34.25 acres to de-annex from the City of Jasper and annex into Pickens County. Ms. Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, this is the Cove Road, Grandview Road, 35 acres of landlocked land over there to annex into or de-annex from the city into the county. Again, by default, we're recommending approval because we don't have any criteria to go against that.
Thank you. Council, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to table item until council meets again December 4th.
Have a motion to table until our December the 4th meeting. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to table. Any further discussion by council?
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Certainly.
So there's been some mention or concerns that this piece of property could potentially adversely affect our water source. But I've not seen any scientific evidence one way or the other that that's true. I think it's important for us to know that. And I don't know how we would go about finding that out. Whether that be talking to our engineers or to EPD or what, but I would like to in the interim have some information about that. And I think that's an important part of the equation. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
So I can reach out to EPD and also SWCC, Soil and Water Conservation District, and discuss what their protocol is and how we move forward, if that is the wish of the council.
I've also been told that, or at least I've done some research, and I've heard there was a new law that indicated we didn't have much control over de-annexations if 100% of the people or the owners involved wanted to de-annex. David, do you?
Yeah, I ran out of time today. I'll look at that tomorrow to see if they have affected. You know, I would think at best that they would only have made de-annexation easier, but, you know, the city still has, to me, the right to determine its boundaries, and that would include the de-annexation.
Specifically in my reading, they did mention adversely affect the safety of the citizens, so that may be something we look forward to hearing as well. Thanks, sir.
Any further discussion by council? All in favor of tabling this until our next regular meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. And the motion carries. Item number 5, consideration approval of ordinance 2023-23 to fix the zoning map error for parcel JA07017, located off of Pioneer Road. And Ms. Burgess, one more time.
As stated previously, this is 1.2 acres at the corner of Pioneer Road and Jacobs Way that was erroneously rezoned through zoning map updates from R3 to M1. We're just looking to fix the error, so we're recommending approval.
Council, I entertain a motion.
Motion to approve is presented.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Any other discussion by council?
Can you clarify for me the location of this property for me? I don't think I have a map, and now it's gone on the screen, so.
Certainly. Let me wake my computer up over there. Thank you. Gonna come back on.
Was it? Or-
So it's, if you're going down Pioneer and you're just coming past the new development and everything, you go into Jacobs Ways on your left where all those townhomes overlook the new
Okay.
development on Pioneer.
Yep.
It is right across from that entranceway, so it has frontage on the corner and so it abuts back to Burton Hutton Center.
Okay, so it's not the R3 that's over by toward Walmart where the apartments were?
No.
Okay,
No.
okay. All right, thank you.
Any further discussion by council? Have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. And the motion carries. Item number 6, consideration approval of ordinance 2023.24 to rezone parcel JA07099 located at 45 East Church Street to be rezoned to C2 General Commercial from CBD Central Business District.
Thank you, Mr.
Ms.
Mayor.
Burgess.
Again, this is at 45 East Church Street, the existing gas station over there. They'd like to be rezoned to allow for a convenience store inside the gas station. Our recommendation is approval with conditions.
Thank you. Council, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to table until council meets on December 4th.
Have a motion to table until our December 4th meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion by council?
Sir?
Dr. Parker, we have not heard from you recently.
I get to use one of my favorite words. It's a conundrum. Because I haven't been doing this too long, despite what you may read. I learned that land use and comprehensive plan were very important aspects of rezoning. And believe it or not, despite again what the public may think, it's one of the few times that council actually has some, I don't want to use the word power because that would be misconstrued, but we have some
Authority.
we have some authority to impact our environment, as I used to tell my son. Obviously, it'd be great to have that property cleaned up. Clarify for me why, so it's non-compliant because they're pumping gas, and we don't allow that in our CBD. I guess we can't go back and change whenever that was allowed, but when would we be able to say you can no longer pump gas? Would that be change of ownership or change of license, or when would we be able to do that?
So only when the property has been vacant for 2 years. So not being utilized as a gas station, lay vacant for 2 years.
No disrespect meant whatsoever. David, you agree with that?
I would have to look at the ordinance, and if the ordinance says 2 years, then I'd agree with that. You know, part of the problem is that once the use has gone in, and I'm sure Ms. Burgess can probably tell a lot more than me on it, you gotta allow it to have a useful economic life. And so we'd have to know kind of when it was created. And then usually the ordinance provides or has a sunset provision for non-conforming uses, because you don't want to keep, you know, you want everything to come into compliance with your plan over time. So the court system has sort of said, hey, if it's had its useful economic life, then you can sunset it, and the ordinance usually sets out those sunset provisions. You know, depending on what the ordinance says, you can get into litigation over it. So I agree with what Ms. Burgess says, that hey, if it hadn't been used for 2 years, you're not going to get into a litigation situation. But, you know, we may want to look at amending our zoning ordinance again to try to tighten up when we can start ending these non-conforming uses.
So for me, so that's all useful information. Obviously, I'd love to see that site cleaned up, but I think we've worked very, very hard in getting our downtown area to be more vibrant, and I'd like to see our CBD actually expanding rather than shrinking in a critical location in our area, and thereby I'd almost rather see, and this is not a suggestion, but I'd almost rather see them claim some sort of hardship and stay in the CBD, and I think there may be some argument for that, even though we don't want to turn that bad boy loose too many times either, but we'll talk about it some more once we have a little more information. Thank you, sir.
Have a motion and a second to approve with conditions.
Table with.
Excuse me, to table with conditions. And any further discussion by council? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, same, and we're tabling that until our next regular meeting. Thank you.
Good job.
Item number 7, consideration approval to purchase a fire apparatus. Would this be a big fire truck, or, well, I thought we just did one of those, Chief. Chief John Sherrill, our fire department.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's good to see you all this evening. Speaking on that, what you brought up, I would like to say I appreciate the support for public safety in the City of Jasper. It's definitely unparalleled compared to anywhere else I've ever been. We appreciate your support. We've had some setbacks which have presented opportunities, which I know y'all heard that before. As you know, recently engine 1 went down. Unfortunately, it was covered under warranty where they had to replace the engine in it, which put us using engine 2 and 3 a lot more often. And engine 3 is a 1998 quality fire apparatus. Quality is the brand name. It's got around 170,000 miles on it. And we were hoping it was going to last us until our new engine, which is on order, was going to arrive. But it appears that's probably not going to be the case, being that delivery date has been pushed out to October of 25 now. In the meantime, we had a loaner apparatus that was provided to us because our ladder truck had not arrived yet. And Brendan Mount was nice enough to provide that to us at no cost. They offered to to sell it to us for $60,000. Now, they're listing it for $100,000, but we'd be a repeat customer, and they felt that since we worked with them and purchased a ladder truck, that they would be willing to do that for us. And it's a 2008 Pierce Contender pumper. It's got a 1250 GPM pump and a 500-gallon tank, which is comparable to the current engine 3. The only difference there is the tank size, which is where we'll be going to a 500-gallon from 1,000. That shouldn't affect us. It's a short apparatus which will help us navigate our streets. And the way we see it at the fire department is it looks like it would be very cost effective for us to be able to purchase this apparatus and bridge that gap and replace that older 1998. This wouldn't be an additional apparatus, it would replace it, and we would either surplus or donate that 1998 apparatus to somebody else. So, it, as brought up before, it does have some blue lights on it that we would have to change out. That's something we'd have to address, and we'd have to have it striped. That's not included in that $60,000 price tag. Y'all have questions for me about this apparatus?
I have a couple.
Yes, sir.
Number one, exactly what piece of equipment is this that we're buying?
It would be a 2008 Pierce Contender engine. My ladder truck, it is an engine. Yes, sir. It's a custom cab, and we have it in our possession for a little over a month, and we've been driving it and checking it out, make sure there's no issues or anything like that that we would be aware of.
And I'm assuming number two, this went through our committee and is approved by our committee, is that correct?
Yes, Mayor and Council, this went through Public Safety Committee after discussing the details, evaluating the apparatus on hand. It's highly recommended that we move forward with this purchase.
And exactly how much money?
$60,000, sir. 60.
$6,000.
60,000.
I'll be sure with a zero this time.
That's right.
But that was a nice try.
It was. And as you know, you've been getting $30,000 back for the new apparatus. It was, and that 1 year initial delay provided for the $360 to buy the ladder truck without debt service. As of right now, they pushed us back an additional 2 months. I promise I didn't call and ask them to do that at all. We'd rather have it sooner than later, but that would provide that $60,000 in SPOS funding to make this purchase without going and incurring any extra debt service.
And one more follow-up question. Where would those funds come from, Madam City Manager?
SPOS. Yes, sir.
So that's an important point, the SPOS dollars that the public voted on and the referendum approved the accumulation of these funds specifically for public safety. How much would you say we have spent in the last 6 months on engine 3 and repairs and such? Just
Engine 3 we have not spent a lot on, but at the same time we've had that other apparatus, we have not been using Engine 3 here.
because I heard there were some mechanical issues with, is it in service today?
We have it at station, but we're not actively running it because it's losing power. The engine is fading fast on us. Right now, we have to keep it idled up for it to maintain adequate oil pressure. And that's something that's getting worse. Originally, we thought, since we don't have to use it all the time, most of the cases it gets used when engine 1 or 2 are out of service for repair or something like that. Top end speeds are around 50 miles per hour, so as I say, it doesn't get up down 515 very fast.
So they tell me on my tractor I should let that idle down as well to prevent exactly what you're talking about. But I'm not saying that's what causes them.
Well, and you make a valid point. Fire apparatus, they have a hard life because most diesel engines are allowed to crank up, idle, get them up to operating temperature, and you take off. Whereas us, we jump in it and we have to go.
Yeah.
So we have to get there.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't have that opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Council, I entertain a motion to approve a $60,000 expenditure for an engine for the our fire department.
So moved.
You have a motion and a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion by council? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. You have an engine.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Chief. Good job.
Item number 8, consideration and approval of Christmas bonuses, and we'll let our city manager bring that to us, Ms. Sonia James.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak this evening. As you all know, it is no secret that we have an exceptional workforce. They go above and beyond to make this city shine. And usually during this time of the year, we look at our current expenditures to see if we can somehow bless them for blessing us all year long with their exceptional performance. So this year, I would like to bring a request before City Council to provide them with a holiday bonus of $500 per employee for 76 employees. This cost would cover, would be to the city of $542 to cover the tax portion of this bonus. So everyone would get a straight $500 bonus. So I'm bringing the City Council this request to provide that bonus to our staff. In addition, simultaneously approving a budget amendment in the same amount to be reflected in the 2023 adopted budget to accommodate this, this bonus to staff. I'll entertain any questions that you may have.
Council, any questions for our city manager?
City Manager, it's my understanding that this is coming from pre-budgeted items, not fulfilled in budget, so it is covered.
Yes, the funds would be coming from budgeted salary lapse, those vacant positions throughout the year that have not been filled and that salary has been set aside. And it would also be coming from savings associated with underspent budget lines. So areas where we got better deals than we had originally anticipated on certain operational items, those funds would be geared towards that holiday bonus. And to add, a lot of those underspent budget lines are as a result of our employees doing such a good job at finding better deals or finding ways to do things that didn't cost the city what we anticipated.
Thank you.
This was discussed in the Finance Administration Committee and is a recommendation of that committee.
Thank you, Jim. I entertain a motion at this time, Council, that we approve the holiday bonus as presented to us and the budget amendments as necessary to meet our 2023 budget goals.
So moved.
Motion, Jim.
Second.
Sonny. Motion and a second. Any further discussion by council? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. And the motion is carried. Committee reports, Public Safety and Judicial, Kirk Radfield, because Ann is not here.
Mayor and Council, thank you for the investment in public safety with the new engine that we approved this evening. I know our fire department will greatly appreciate it. The citizens of Jasper and Pickens County will benefit from your investment. Our departments are doing well. They attended events such as the Derby, the Trick or Treat. Committee did meet. We discussed multiple things, including the engine. We're also looking at second station for the fire department. Location and logistics around that are being discussed actively to move our department forward for better services, and also an interpreter service for those in need when they're interacting with our public safety.
Thank you, sir. Parks and Properties, Dr. Proctor and John Bass.
Yeah, Parks, Doris Wigington, so far, we've been, Taylor Trails have got 4,100 feet, linear feet, built over at Doris Wigington. It's really come together. Kurt could tell you about the ramps and stuff and the bicycles. They're actually seeing a lot of use, which is good. That's what we want to see. Staff met with Pickens County to start discussing the revitalization of Jasper City Park, which is a good thing. It's something we wanted to see. Parole Park, which, you know, we've got the grant, and I really appreciate all the work that staff did. Also, Jim and Dr. Proctor needs to be recognized for their hard work too. They really did a fine job. The downtown restrooms, hopefully we'll be getting them pretty soon. They're about 50% ready to go. So hopefully, maybe sometime after the year, we'll be able to see the restrooms up and function. Anything on the end of that?
So Kirk and Jim and myself, a week or two ago, made a little trip to Augusta, where we accepted the check for $1 million. That is the main portion of the Perot Park project. Again, will be matched with SPLOST dollars, referendum voted on by the citizens for that specific purpose. And so I think it's important to reiterate that. I'll also say that we're working on the electrical upgrades at Lee Newton Park, and everything is really moving quite along. And if I've got a list here, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parks, not including the restrooms, so 4 parks, not 19, that we have in our city. And we have plans in place for upgrades, including complete renovation on most of these. And so I think those are important comments. Downtown restrooms, we are focusing a lot on our downtown area because that's kind of the heartbeat of the city, and all ships rise with the tide. And when I came on to council, which was, I'm in my second year of my second term, so and I did a 1-year term, so 7 years ago, public restrooms was the #1 request by the businesses downtown. As a matter of fact, that's why we purchased the Perot property, because at one point in time we considered converting the Perot home into public restrooms. So the long-term cost of maintaining these bathrooms, which of course will be expensive, will be much great savings over trying to have public restrooms in a 100-year-old 2-story house. So, so very exciting to see this part of our puzzle kind of start taking shape, and again, boots on the ground at Doris Wigington and other places. So thank you.
Thank you. Enterprise funds, Councilmember Jim Looney and Dr. Cropper.
Water plant expansion continues. Had reports from the architect, the engineers on that project, and it is moving. The city did issue a order for force main work to begin, so that you start seeing some pipe get buried for that. Also discussing water diversification, some different sources of water available to the city, and we will always be looking at additional water sources for the city. That's nothing that's going to stop anytime soon.
So capital improvement projects, we're working on looking at how we can upgrade our long underserved system over the years. Has not been maintained. We finally are working on an actual capital improvement plan. The city's never had one before. And so that's very exciting to upgrade not only our water system, but our sewer system. I'd like to again publicly recognize House Representative Rick Jaspers, who also serves as chairman of the Transportation Committee. He was very important in working with us in the railroad and getting the appropriate easements that we needed, or long-term agreements in place to allow us to move forward with that notice to proceed, which is a huge step and huge next step in getting the material, shall we call it, from the wastewater plant to the discharge. So that's very exciting. So thank you.
Development and local infrastructure, Council members Kurt Bradfield and John Faust.
Mayor and Council, committee did meet with staff from that department. Current developments underway, working both residential and commercial, erosion control, sedimentation. There are a couple that they're working with to make sure that they stay on the right path. I appreciate staff's effort being led down the right journey. Stormwater drainage, then the TAP grant, we're working with DOT on all of that. They have assigned a new staff member, so there's been a delay based on the state's response and their staffing levels. And so we continue to move right ahead on all the projects.
And I'd like to recognize Mary and her department. They really are doing a fine job. We appreciate it. We appreciate what Kim does, Josh, and they're just doing an awesome job. We appreciate their enthusiasm, and they're showing that they really care about the city. That goes a long way, and we do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Finance and Administration, Councilmember Jim Lennon.
This last month, all employees participated in open enrollment for any changes to benefit plans. That was successfully completed on the 20th. Work continues on the 2024 budget. I think council is probably going to try and meet on that very soon so that it can be presented in December. And planner interviews are being conducted right now, and I hope those go well. It's a position we need to get filled. So work continues.
Thank you, Mr. Lennon. Information technology, one thing I want to say about this is this goes away at the end of the year, so I would hope that we could get that done before the end of the year. And that's council members Kirk Bradfield and Jim Lennon.
Still waiting on one of our potential carriers to present to the committee, and at that time I feel sure we can come up with a strong recommendation.
So, any idea when we will get that?
Well, there have been some scheduling conflicts, so as soon as I can pull the committee together schedule-wise, we will have that presentation, and then we will proceed with the RFP process and select our candidates from there and interview them and solidify professional services as quickly as possible.
Thank you, Susan. And that's been a good evening. Yes.
Mayor and Council, if I may, just a quick update. I know Miss Angela's here. From the DDA, we had a very successful year with Downtown Live. We had a very successful year with Art Walk. We want to thank Miss Angela for all of her hard work. And also our city staff from Public Works and Public Safety that made those events wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you may be wasted in the paper.
What's that?
Second?
Okay, this time I entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. Second.